Okay, hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I just want to say thank you to everyone who has shown me love and support on literally any one of my channels for giving me this opportunity to be here. Thank you truly from the bottom of my heart. The fact that I'm able to do this as a living is crazy. And I know I'm not big or anything like that, but I just thank you, okay? Everyone is always so kind and supportive and that really means a lot to me. So yeah, anyway, okay, so today I figured I could go ahead and continue my breast augmentation kind of video series. So the last time we had a big story time, I was able to sit down, kind of take you along with me during the journey. I was really happy when some of you guys mentioned that I'm a good storyteller, because I feel like I'm not. I really tried to piece that together so that way it's easy to understand and follow, so I'm so glad that you said that. Thank you. Yeah, so today I figured I could go ahead and go over my pros and cons that I've came up with since having the surgery. Things that I didn't really think about would affect me. Things that I think if you're thinking about getting your boobs done might give you something to think about, okay? Even though I know the pros and cons now, I just know I would have still continued, and you might still too after watching this video. That is a-okay. I'm just giving you a little heads up from my own personal experience, but nonetheless, I'm definitely gonna go over the cons first because that's a longer list. You might be like, what? But listen, the pros, there's just certain ones that are just too big, okay? That kind of override some of these cons, you know? So we'll start with the cons in no particular order. These are the cons that I've came up with since having my boobs, okay? So first thing, and I mentioned this in the last video, you cannot sleep on your belly, okay? And if you're a belly sleeper, that is very freaking hard. There's been times where I even look on Amazon to see if there's some sort of pillow that I can buy, but I know it's better for you if you sleep flat. It's almost like you're sleeping on two balloons, okay? Two literally not balloons, but bouncy balls. That's how it feels, but the squishy kind. Yeah, it just can be slightly uncomfortable. And also when you're laying flat, no bra, no nothing, eventually you get to that point where you don't really need a bra. You'll feel them shift this way, and let me just tell you, I'm 2 years in and it still feels weird sometimes. So yeah, it definitely takes time for you to get used to them being in you and being able to eventually move around. But that kind of goes into my next point. Working out, it's really uncomfortable when you work out certain body parts like your chest or whatever. Again, I got them under the muscle. You could feel them spread apart with your chest muscle. It's the weirdest thing and it's so uncomfortable. There's just certain things that I feel I will never be able to fully do because of how uncomfortable it is. You know how people can hang on to the bars and dip down? I don't know what those are called, but you dip down like this. I tried and it felt so uncomfortable. I can't. There's just gonna be moments where it's uncomfortable and they feel uncomfortable, so just keep that in mind. My second con that I have down is the fact that you actually have boobs, okay? You might be thinking what do you mean? Of course you have boobs, that's what you wanted, that's the whole point. But listen, for so long I had such a flat chest, right? And over time, you get clothes and everything that fit your body. So when I got my surgery and came back, I didn't realize how much of a change I would need to make in my wardrobe to fit my new figure. There was certain crop tops that I absolutely love, and I put it on and I was like, oh my god, I look very provocative. Not that I was intending it to, but it just happened because that was just the shape of my body now. So a crop top that would normally where my belly button is hitting up here, and you're oh, it's a bit much now. So you have to watch out for things like that. People with boobs are probably yeah, listen, that was a change for me that even though I knew in my head was gonna happen, I didn't quite understand how much it would actually make an impact on my wardrobe, okay? So definitely prepare for that afterwards. Also, anything with padding, right? So this sports bra that I have on has padding, right? And I do love it. In some spots it looks really nice, but other spots it just looks so, I remember I got a bathing suit from H&M, right? And I didn't realize at the time to check for padding, because before I would actually appreciate a bathing suit for having padding, right? I bought the swimsuit, took it home, tried it on. Oh my god, my boobs looked so freaking fake. It was ridiculous. Yeah, anything with padding like that, it's a no-go because it's gonna push them up and make them look very unnatural. So just keep that in mind as well. Is that a con? Yeah, so I guess these are still cons because in case you have stuff that's like padding or whatever, you might have to, going off of that, you know, the boobs are fake, right? Sometimes they're gonna look natural, sometimes they're gonna look fake, okay? Or they look too much. I've purchased some tops recently even where like I'll put them on, I'm like, ooh, like they fit, but like the boobs are just out there and they're like out and about as they're supposed to be, as I wanted them to initially, kind of. This kind of goes along with like post-surgery. My nips were hard for a long time. Like I don't think they ever softened for like a good year, year and a half. I know that sounds really crazy, but the headlights were on, okay, all the time. Now they're starting to soften. So that's another thing too, is like you're gonna have to accept that you no longer have like a natural body. It's sad to say because I feel like society definitely has their own perceptions of like cosmetic surgery and like being natural or not like what that means for you, all that mumbo jumbo. That is something that is kind of a hard pill to swallow. It was for me. I guess that's my fault for letting like society's beauty standards kind of get in my head. That's definitely something that you're gonna have to process. I feel like maybe that might be easier for some versus others. And also the fact that if you have one procedure done, like for example, I got my boobs done, people automatically start to assume that you got other things done. People have assumed that I got a BBL or like lip filler or anything like that. The boobs are like the only cosmetic thing that I've gotten done. As long as you're true to yourself and you kind of block out that outside noise, you should be okay. And again, these are like cons based on my own personal experience, so maybe that might not even bother you, but for a minute it did. I was like, oh damn, oh damn. Okay, so again, after surgery, like in my case, they might be uneven, okay? Boobs naturally come in various shapes and sizes, and one might be up, one might be down, right? So when you have surgery, yes, of course they're gonna be bigger, but they might be uneven like they were in my case for about 2 years. But some people, they kind of stay a little bit uneven, right? Game, that's just the name of the game. A lot of the times they are not twins, they are just sisters. I guess during my whole experience, I never thought that was gonna be something that I had to worry about until it was. So just keep that in mind, that there's a chance for them to be uneven. Maybe one a little bit bigger than the other, like you just never know. So, and also the fact that it is recommended you get them replaced, I think every 10 years. But I know a lot of people who don't follow that. But I also know some people that had to get them replaced even sooner, or just get them taken out, period, because there's a lot of complications that can arise from having a foreign object in your body, right? But yeah, my mom, who's actually a nurse, she worked with a lot of patients who had their implants in for years. I'm talking like 20, 30 years. So honestly, I think it just depends on your body. Everyone's different. So those are my cons. Now moving on to like the positives of having your boobs, right? So as I mentioned earlier, a con is that you have boobs, right? And that sometimes they can look unnatural. But on the flip side, you actually have boobs, okay? Meaning you can fill that top, you can fill out that dress, you can fill out a swimsuit, okay? And it's literally like the best feeling. And I think that right there is such a big pro for me, because I went so long with not having anything and having a lot of embarrassing moments where I tried to like make mine look bigger before. It is such a big thing when you finally get to try on a bra for the first time that's not padded, or like a tube top. It's just amazing. It's really amazing. I remember when I had my smaller chest and I would always buy Victoria's Secret bombshell bras to make them look bigger, right? And they were thick. They were so freaking thick. I remember I hugged my high school crush with one on, and when our bodies pressed together, I will never forget, I felt the padding, so I know he felt the padding, okay, because it was so freaking thick. It was so embarrassing. I don't think I ever wore one after that. I was just like dealing with the small chest, like, oh well. So yeah, you no longer have to buy padded things. It's just great. It's a great feeling. If you are someone who was like me, where I was just very insecure about my top, my chest. So another thing, my confidence skyrocketed once like they really evened out, and I kind of learned like what kind of fit them well, and like, you know, it does do something to your confidence in like a really nice way. I'm very, very, very grateful that I was able to get them done. And sometimes people can't tell. Like, do you know how many people assume on TikTok or whatever, like, hey, what bra are you wearing? Or like, oh my gosh, how do you get the girlies to stand up? And I have to be like, oh girl, like they're 2 years old. So while, you know, they can look fake sometimes, they can also look natural and like very just nice. They can look very nice. And that's another thing, is that when you get them done, they really don't need that much support. Like, yeah, you might need nipple covers or whatever, but in terms of actually like needing support in certain things, you really don't. Like, half the time I don't wear a bra with the outfits that I wear. That's like all the pros that I could think of. And I know that's like a short list, but you know, especially the big one, once you get them done, it serves its purpose. Like, you have boobs, you're able to wear things and feel confident in yourself, which is like a huge thing. It is a huge thing. That's like my short list of pros and cons that I could think of off the top of my head. I got my laptop. We're gonna go over some of these questions that you guys have left. Jewel Bell says, oh my gosh, this was so informational. I've been looking into this and I need to hear others' experiences. I'm excited to watch the next videos with your mom included. I'm very excited for that too. I also had WLS and my boobs are really bothering me. Were you nervous of breast implant illness? Thank you so much for sharing. So that is something obviously that is a part of like the cons. There's so many risks to any cosmetics procedure that you have done, specifically with implants. I've seen so many horror stories about people who get them in and then over time they slowly get sick with different things. Their hair starts shedding. Like, nothing's really happened to me personally to make me feel like I have that just yet, or, you know, just yet, like, you know. But yeah, that definitely was something I was a little nervous about, because you never know how your body's going to react to a foreign object. But because I went so many years throughout like my late teens to like early 20s knowing that I wanted to have this procedure done, I just went ahead and moved forward with it, you know. I will definitely keep you updated if anything happens and I have to take them out. Yeah, that was something I was nervous about, but I just proceeded anyway. Happy Cow 1231 says, when you say painful, is it like excruciating, like painful you were in tears? I think I fear for the pain the most, and that holds me back. It's hard because I feel like, I've never had a kid, but you know how you hear moms who are like, yeah, you have one, it's the worst pain ever, but I'll do it again. And usually they do, because like you kind of forget. It's kind of like that. Like, yes, I could tell you that it was very painful at certain points. The pain meds definitely helped. It does feel very tight. I think I forgot to mention this too in the last video for like the recovery bit. You cannot lift your arms like this for a decent amount of time after, at least a week comfortably, because it is so tight and they feel like they're gonna slide right on out. I would break down it because I would be trying to like wash my hair or something, you know, and it would feel just so uncomfortable. Sometimes if you sweat right here where your incisions are, like that can hurt. There, yeah, the pain was definitely there. I'd probably say like a 7, 8 out of 10, because I feel like I'm gonna save that 10 for like childbirth if I ever, yeah. I was in tears at some points. I remember I was laying in my mom's bed actually, and she was out and about at the time. I noticed my nipples started to leak. That was very concerning. But they hurt really bad that day, and I was worried that something was actually happening. And so I texted my mom, and she like messaged, everything was fine. It was just, you know, sometimes that happens. If I could live through it, you can live through it. I think this is Arlene. She said, thank you for going into details. Do you have any tips for someone who has never been to Mexico before, doesn't speak Spanish, if they were able to get this done in Tijuana? How long do you need help from someone for aftercare? So I don't speak Spanish, neither does my mom. And yeah, because I'm very Americanized. Like, unfortunately I was not taught, nor did I do enough when I was younger to really retain the language. A lot of people do this, right? And it's becoming more and more popular because here in the States in certain places, like, it's just so expensive to get something like this done. So yeah, they have doctors there that speak English. Like the doctor that I had, he spoke English. He lives in California, you know what I mean? He just makes the trip over there every day. You basically will get in touch with the coordinator and they will help you kind of make sure you have a ride to get you where you need to be. I would say definitely bring somebody with you, not only for like aftercare, but when you're going to a new place, obviously it's good to like bring people. Most nurses and doctors at that office spoke English, so I was able to communicate with them like normal. So as far as aftercare goes, probably at least like a week and a half. and they're mainly there to help you clean the incisions, help you wash your hair. How many cc's? So I got 350 cc's in both. How did the scars look after recovery? I'll put a picture where I'm wearing like a swimsuit, and like you could see a little bit of my under boob, and you could see the scar. That was taken this past summer, so that was probably like almost hitting the 2-year mark. It's underneath the boob, so I can't really tell unless like I lift them up, or if someone's looking up from like down. No one can really tell. I'm gonna have to translate this because I'm gonna be sounding so silly. Okay, but basically she's asking, during recovery was I able to walk and everything? How long did it take for me to return to my job? So at the time I was cutting hair. It took me about, I want to say, a week and a half to get back in there. A week and a half to 2 weeks. Honestly, even before I went back there, I actually worked at my mom's sandwich shop even before then. I think I was in there maybe like 3 days after. Yeah, so you're able to walk, you're able to like work. As long as you don't do like a lot of this movement, you know what I mean? You should be okay. See, this is why I need to learn Spanish, okay? Someone says I'm booking ASAP. Just make sure you do your research, okay? I think when my mom comes on here, eventually it's gonna be very informative if you're thinking about doing the same thing. Sorry if I missed it in the video, but did you get saline or silicone breast implants? I've been wanting to get mine done for so long. Thank you for this video. I as well. She said I as well have traffic cones. I did get silicone. I don't know if you've ever heard of the gummy bear implants, but that's what they are. My mom kind of sent me some more. She says they're high profile, and yeah, they're 350 cc's. So literally my inspo, I'm ready to book ASAP. I'm a little concerned with it being in Tijuana. There's definitely more options out there. I know they might be a little bit pricey, but I would definitely say just wait till I get all the videos out there. Do your own research. Like, I think my mom spent a decent amount of time looking for this doctor before we actually booked. There's a lot of research that needs to be done, a lot of planning, a lot of talking with the coordinator. So just, and this is why I wanted to do everything on here, so we can go into more in depth about that and you can be safe. I want mine done so bad, but I'm scared of the anesthesia part. It is very terrifying. Honestly, I didn't really think about it until I was like in the surgery room about to get it done. It was very scary. I feel like there's not a lot I could say about it because it is a scary thing. It is. I proceeded and I was fortunate enough to be okay. They look amazing. So safe to say you'd recommend him for anyone who's looking. Definitely, but he is out of the country. So while I recommend him as a surgeon, I don't recommend going out of the country because it adds just more risk to it. So obviously it was okay for me. It's okay for a lot of people who go over there, but on the flip side, just like anything else, there's risk, okay? And there's also people who go over there and aren't as fortunate and don't, you know, don't luck out on getting what they want. I can't recommend that to you guys because it's a big thing. It adds more risk. Let me see.
I suck at this.
Why?
I'm about to give up.
Let me see.
It looks so bad.
What do you mean? Are you joking? She said this looks bad. How does that look bad? She's in school to be a nail tech.
Don't put my face in this. I look wretched.
I'll zoom in on me. But like, that is not bad for someone who's starting out. Are you joking me? Why are you so hard on yourself?
Because that looks
You're not
like,
even graduated
that
yet.
looks like a 2-year-old just did it.
You're joking. It takes time. Tessa said she didn't feel confident in her nail art until like 2 years in. So it's gonna take time. And there's always new stuff that comes out, she said. So she feels like she's always learning, you know? But these look good. She woke me up by combing my hair like this. Just dead asleep, and then I just feel like, wakey, wakey.
I said, Stormy. Stormy, baby. But yeah, I'm literally gonna go kill myself.
Don't. You're doing great. You're doing amazing, sweetie.
Rise and shine.
Arise and shine.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Eventually I'm gonna have her on here and we're gonna do something, maybe like a mukbang. I was thinking we could go to like McDonald's one night and like film in my car, or like do something. I think that'd be so funny. Fatima says, thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you for sharing your experience. What was the cost of the surgery? Are they okay, so they are silicone. Thank you, by the way. The cost of my boobs I think was like $3,500, but That wasn't including the hotel and the plane tickets and like the food. That was literally only like the surgery, the garment, pain meds, like it covered like stuff like that. So there's other expenses outside of that. But thank you for sharing. I literally had no idea yours weren't natural. They look so amazing. I don't know if I missed it, but does your surgeon have any social media? I've been thinking of getting my, yes, I will add his social media here. I think it's under Body Art Surgical. I thought I was following them, but then after I posted, I realized I wasn't. So like every time I would go on TikTok and talk about it and direct people to that page, they couldn't find it. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm literally following them. Turns out I wasn't, so sorry about that. So the trip out of the country plus the surgery itself was about how much? 4,000? No, I want to say it was probably around, there was 3 of us that went, right? My sister got something done. My mom got some Botox. We had food down there. We went shopping one day, all that stuff. Probably around 8 to 10,000, but that's again, that's for 3 people, and each of us got something done. Hi, thank you for this video. I've also not been happy with mine. I don't look or feel good in a lot of clothes. I want to feel confident and feel good in outfits. How do you feel after 2 years post-op? Do you have any regrets? Did you let everyone know you were going to get them done, or just one day you came home with no boobies and let people found out? I'm also a 34 AA, and mine look exactly how you described yours. Listen, I know it's hard to accept, but looking back at pictures of my boobs and kind of remembering, they were not as bad as I thought. So just know, even though it might feel that way, if you get them done, there's gonna be a time when you look back and you kind of, not regret, but like miss your old chest, okay? Just know that there's gonna be moments afterwards. I feel pretty good after, you know, they've settled pretty well. I think they still have room to soften, you know what I mean? I don't have any regrets, but I will say at nighttime when I'm trying to get comfy and like they're in my way, I'm not gonna lie, I do have some really bad thoughts running through my head. Not necessarily like that I'll ever like fully regret them, but it's just annoying. They get really annoying, okay? But that's like mainly the only thing, is when they're uncomfortable like that. I did let everyone know in my life that I was gonna get them done. I let them know before I even knew what was happening. I mean, I didn't blast it on social media or anything because I wasn't doing that at the time, but, or was I? I had just started, but I didn't really blast it on there. I want to get mine done, and I want them pretty much the same size as yours. They look amazing. During your recovery, how long would you say the pain lasted total? It was not always constant, but after like the 2-week mark is when I feel like they were, like I said, we were becoming one, the implants in me. But for those first 2 weeks, there was moments off and on. It wasn't just straight pain, maybe like for a few days after, but again, they give you pain medication, so it kind of helps. But there was certain times where, you know, it hurt. It was very tight. Would you say it was mostly sharp pain or throbbing pain? I feel like it was more throbbing. So yeah, those are all the responses that I got. I hope that this, again, gave you a little bit more insight. When my mom comes on, you know what I mean, we'll go into depth about her experience, the coordinators, anything that I might have missed in this video or the last. So yeah, I guess that concludes today's video. I'm off to go pick up my sister from school, and then gym, and then I have a haircut after. Then I have to come back here, edit this video. Hopefully I could post it by Sunday. I think that's gonna be my new goal, is like Sundays posting on here. But yeah, thank you for joining me. Ooh, I love ya, and until next time. Hi, Pickle. Say something. I like it when he meows.